I'm amazed at the shit you pulled off. Injecting everybody to soul snatch us all. RNA protein spikes, this is war. Crimes against humanity, they're killing us all. It's called eugenics. Yeah, they said it and they meant it. Vincent intensive, coke blues expensive. And they're like, just give me my money. Dancing at your ass on TikTok, you dummies. PCR tests, ICD-10s, but change to bring the money of a COVID death.
We're taking things that are, genetically modified organisms, and we're injecting them in little kids' arms. We just shoot them right into the vein.
And those are your kids, so wake your ass up before communism breaks your ass up. Know your enemies.
In the proud spirit of America and in the proud spirit of our great country,
I just got three things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine!
June 24th, 2025. Welcome back to the America First Warehouse. This is episode 36 of the Know Your Enemies podcast. I'm James Justice. We got Stephen Ruth over here. What are we doing, Steve? Fighting! Yeah, every day, all day. I hope everybody's having a good week so far. We got a lot of madness going on in the news. You got any updates in your personal life? How's everything with you going?
Champion,
just banging out work and
the daily grind, trying to get from one to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next.
Oh my God,
That's
that
it.
heat today was something serious.
Yeah, it was pretty serious.
Yeah, I jumped in the car. It was like 118 degrees. It was nuts. So, what else? All right, so yeah, let's jump into this news real quick. So, as everybody knows, Iran and Israel are going crazy, and there
12-day war.
Yeah, it was a 12-day war, and a lot of stuff's going on.
Bunker
So,
busters, whatever.
yeah, Donald Trump did what he does best, man. He's kept his word, and he's securing peace throughout the Middle East, hopefully. So let's check this out. We got some bombers going off into the air. Let's check it out.
Bomb, 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 Iran. Bomb, 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 Iran.
So I found this video. I thought it was hilarious because it's a classic song, but they switch the words around.
Country's got a feeling really hit the ceiling. Bomb, Iran. Bomb, 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 Iran. Went to a mosque, gonna throw some rocks.
Oh my
Tell the Ayatollah, gonna put you in a box. Bomb, Iran. Bomb, 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 bomb,
Hey man, it's FAFO season. Okay,
What's
they messed
AFO?
around,
What's
fuck
FAF?
around, and find out.
It is, I guess, that season.
It
yeah.
is that season. And
So I saw that the illegals are getting their medical benefits cut off. Did you notice that? Did you see that?
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, they denied that they were ever getting medical benefits. They denied, and now they're saying we're going to stop it from being stopped. But a lot of these Democratic cities now are seeing that they're running short on funds, and Donald Trump is not going to continue to fund their nonsense, and they're cutting the medical. The Medicaid, whatever, the medical for the illegals.
Yep, food stamps, all of that.
I didn't hear about the food stamps. I only heard about the medical.
I mean, New York is trying to fight. They have a lawsuit going. I think it's for like $50 million for the funds that Trump cut off, and they want back into New York City to fund their programs for the illegals. But I don't think that's going to work out too well.
Also,
for
they
them.
were using leftover medical aid, federal aid from the government. They were using that, I guess, to fund illegal immigrants' Medicare, Medicaid, whatever it is.
And how ridiculous is that?
Health
Because the
insurance.
average American that has to bust their ass and doesn't have medical insurance has to face thousands and thousands of dollars worth of bills whenever they go to a doctor's appointment or the hospital, God forbid. You know what I mean? It's like $5,000 just to go to the hospital if you have a clogged ear or something. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. And
Yeah, you're better off going to the walk-in medicals.
Oh,
They
yeah.
want you in and out. They don't want to keep you. They don't want to rob you to death like the hospitals.
yeah.
And definitely you do not want that you're an organ donor on your license.
No, do not fill that out whatsoever
Because then they really know
Yep.
that they want you more dead than they do alive.
Yeah,
They
let's
can
say-
harvest your organs and get $1 million for your organs. You'll never walk out of the hospital. So definitely take off organ donor off your license.
Exactly. Somebody told me about that a long time ago. Too.
Yeah, the nurses broke that story.
Yeah, it's
Shout out
crazy.
to those nurses that became whistleblowers over that.
Yeah. So Trump bombed 3 nuclear sites in Iran. It was called Operation Midnight Hammer.
It's nuclear, bro.
Yeah, it's crazy. But he issued a statement on it. Let's pull that up. So, so basically he's saying that, they completed the mission. They had the bombers go out there, and they bombed the sites. And, the pilots that were participating in this operation, they all made it back safe before Iran even knew what was going on. So it's a good look, man. It's pretty cool. He's doing a damn good job, man, as a commander-in-chief.
Yeah, well, how come he never mentioned anything about the genocide going on?
Well, I think that's going to be exposed
Yo,
a little
you're
later
gonna
on.
flex, then flex. You
Yeah,
know?
but the
Do
public
it.
isn't ready for that.
The public's
conversation.
ready for that to end. The public is ready for enough of the war.
Yeah.
So
The
there
same
was-
way people were getting black fatigue, where it was like, you're constantly hearing the same, like, whites are racist and this the white man's bad and this and that. Like, everybody just got so drawn out of hearing it where it doesn't even matter anymore if somebody says it.
Like he
And the
stopped
s-
them in one war, but they were
Yeah.
committing genocide around the corner.
And the same thing
So
is
what
going
happens
on.
with the genocide? You know?
Yeah, the same thing's going on with this whole Israel war, where it's been going on, it's not stopping, and we're just tired of hearing of it. It's enough is enough already. Make peace, and that's it. It's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. But so we have a document on Operation Midnight Hammer that
talks
shows
about
about
getting
the
the Nobel.
exercise. Let's pull that document up real quick. So this is basically what the B-2 bombers did when they carried out their mission. Is they refueled a couple times on the ground and then in midair, and carried out this mission successfully. So the 3 so-called nuclear sites were bombed and taken out of commission, as far as we're hearing out of the news.
We'll probably get more footage next week.
Yeah, there'll be some more footage coming out. And then what happened was Iran responded with a missile attack. Did you see that?
Nah.
The missile attack? So the U.S. embassies in Qatar and Iraq, it was basically the Iraq embassy that they tried to launch these missiles at, but they were all intercepted and no casualties were reported. So let's run this video. Imagine seeing that in the sky coming in at you.
These rockets are like $1 million each
Yeah, easy, if not more.
just to kill people.
So what I heard,
One rocket would change somebody's life monetarily, but they're spending that money on killing one another.
yeah, it was big business with the military-industrial complex, with making all this money off these wars. And
Yeah.
people dying.
Every time we go to war somewhere, or anybody's going to war, there's a lot of money being made by probably mostly American companies.
Yeah, that's what it is. You got Lockheed Martin. You have all these other suspects
Yeah.
that are in there that been in the military-industrial complex game for decades and decades. And it's enough already. We don't want to send our kids off to die for pointless reasons, and we're tired of changing regimes within certain governments around the world for nobody's benefit but the bankers, right?
Exactly.
And who controls the banks? Everybody knows who controls the banks, right? And we're tired of sending our kids to go get massacred and blown up and blown limbs
In
off
bankers' wars.
in bankers' wars, right? It makes no sense. So World War I, World War II. Let me tell you something about World War I and World War II. All right? I have a very strong feeling, and I'm not the only one, that these wars were perpetrated to completely annihilate and destroy the old world buildings. Because if you look at all these things that were bombed in Iraq, Afghanistan, Libya, Sudan, all these places that we went to war at and dropped the bombs, all of
Very
it-
historic
very
locations.
historical locations, and a lot of these places that were blown up, if you could search the news, were cathedrals, right?
And
Cathedrals
they
that go back
displayed
hundreds of
architecture
years.
that they couldn't explain how the technology, right?
Exactly. So the architecture of the old world quite clearly showed that there was a higher consciousness among the population, and they were using mathematics and certain patterns involved with their construction that were, I guess, awful to eye. Like, wow, how was this created? When you go into an old cathedral that's from the 1700s and you look at the stained glass and murals, they're not painted pictures. They're frequencies that are emanating through the window on the stained glass, and each one has a certain frequency pattern, and they knew this back then, and they destroyed all of these, buildings with these wars. I have a feeling to erase history 100%, because there's no other reason why they would be doing that in the exact locations. So they just want us to think that we're just some stupid humans running around in the world of 2025, and all we have to do is have a job and go to work and have a family, and that's it. But our body and our mind and everything about us was designed for way bigger of a purpose than this. It was designed to come into unity and, as a collective species, raise up our vibration and our spirituality. And that never happened, because the people that gained power in the early 1900s, like the Rockefeller families, and even before that, you got the Vatican. We'll get into that later. But these power structures basically took over mankind and stripped us of the natural ability we had to have insight and intuition and universal knowledge, and to have a heightened awareness and conscious in this world. So, we're at a point right now where the population is starting to realize that something is off, right? You could say, is this what I was really put here for? To go slave my ass every single week and to make money, to go spend it, and that's not what this life was supposed to be about.
Right. It wasn't supposed to have to do with money.
Yeah, and we're the only species that are tied to a monetary system, right? You take out humans out of the equation, there is not one species, insect, mammal around the world that has a monetary system in order to live. It doesn't happen. It's not in the harmonious balance of the earth. It doesn't work like that. So at some point, we were stripped away
It's a
from
devil's
our
system.
natural essence of what we were supposed to be, and that is in the image of God. We are creators, and we can do many things and manifest whatever we want as long as we put our mind to it and have a drive to see it through. You know what I mean?
Prayer helps.
Yeah, and prayer. Well, nothing comes out of nothing. It's you have to have something that was created to create from. So there's always a canvas, and we thank the Lord for that, because God is our only hope in this world that will keep us safe. But we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we're going to be back on the other side with some more topics. We're going to get back into the war, and we'll see you then.
I told you this was crazy. I'm out of here.
No do that. Free stuff for all.
I could be such a downer.
For you, bow to the master staff. Come to me.
Oh my god, this guy's from Jersey!
Hi. How you doing? Fuck off my stage.
I'm pretty sure I'm a woman.
No, you're not, Steve. Oh! Oh!
Wet on my side. Now instead of a poke, you're getting a smack. What have I done?
My name is Elena Ruseva, aka Megalangela. Please check my art at www.megalangela.vip.
It's me, Joe the Box, the America First Warehouse. No, it's the America First Motor Club here in Ronkonkoma, 9013th Avenue. Sunday morning, we're opening up 9 a.m. Beautiful artwork from Nelson Medina. We just passed him over there. We're coming in Sunday at 9 a.m. hot. We're going to raise some money for our veterans. The event is free. You make some donations. Buy a hamburger. There will be food. Plenty of it. We love this country. Congratulations, President Trump. Congratulations to our country. One nation, under God. Sunday morning.
Are you a musician, comedian, actor, filmmaker, or artist who stands for traditional American values? Do you believe in the preservation of our nation, our culture, and our freedoms? If you share our passion for America and want to use your talents to make a difference, we want to hear from you. Our mission is clear. Through the arts, we uphold the principles of freedom, faith, family, and the American spirit. It's time to step up to the mic and make your voices heard. So contact us at AmericanConservativeArtists.com.
America First Warehouse was really the most patriotic venue that you can ever imagine. We wanted to build something for people to be able to come to and feel so comfortable and so relaxed, because there is nothing out there like it. We give an opportunity for people to really feel good about themselves and about this great country.
All right. Welcome back to the America First Warehouse for the Know Your Enemies podcast. I hope you guys are having a good time. Make sure you share, like, and subscribe to these videos. It's very important. We are fighting against the algorithm and censorship. So without you sharing this out, it goes nowhere. And how are you going to have this valuable information just sent out into nowhere? You can't. So make sure you share, like, and subscribe. We're out here on the front lines for you. So what else we got in the news here? So allegedly, the bomb that Trump dropped on one of these spots, we have footage for. Allegedly. We don't know. We can't confirm
Could
if
have
this
been
is actually the
firecrackers.
spot. But
Could have
there's
been a lady finger.
a massive hole in the ground. So let's check this out and see what they're looking at. Whatever it was, it looks like it was dropped down. You can see the layers of the earth stacked up. You got like light, dark, light, dark, light, dark. So whatever it was, definitely drilled in from the top and exploded outwards. But it's filled up with water. So either they hit some type of underwater, underground water canal or something that came up to the surface or something. Or this just isn't the hole that was created from the bomb, but could be. Look at this thing. Supposedly these things can go up to like 500 feet underground when they drop them. But that hole is kind of huge. I don't know. Who knows? But if that is the hole, that's a big hole. It's a big, beautiful hole, I'll tell you. It's a big, beautiful hole. So, yeah. And then after all this craziness happened, there was a peace agreement made. And Trump came out and announced it. I have a graphic for that. We'll pull that up. So Trump says Israel and Iran have agreed to a ceasefire. And, as soon as he made this, it was about an hour after Israel started launching rockets. There was a rocket that went off by Iran, but didn't hit anything. And Israel launched a whole arsenal of rockets back at Iran. And, this was after the whole ceasefire agreement was announced on national TV. Supposedly, there was a time frame where this was supposed to take effect, and they fired the rockets before the agreement was actually in effect. So, I don't know. You know what I mean? I just think that they don't want to end this war at all. And Trump was pretty pissed off about it. So this morning he came out and made a statement, and he was a little riled up. I'm not gonna lie. Let's check this out. Oh, that was what was this one? Oh yeah, this was Trump Truths Out Common Sense, right? And he put out these. I can't read it, but you can read it on screen right there. He put out this thing where it's like, no wars, and it's common sense in a post. And when he put it out, it got a big response on the internet. But then I have another video here of protesters. Number 8, we could pull up. So, there it is right there. This is Trump statement.
Violated the peace agreement and the ceasefire agreement. Do you believe that Iran is still committed to peace?
Yeah, I do. They violated it, but Israel violated it too.
Are you questioning if Israel is committed?
Israel, as soon as we made the deal, they came out and they dropped a load of bombs, the likes of which I'd never seen before. The biggest load that we've seen. I'm not happy with Israel. When I say, okay, now you have 12 hours, you don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. So I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with Iran either. But I'm really unhappy if Israel's going out this morning because of one rocket that didn't land, that was shot, perhaps by mistake, that didn't land. I'm not happy about that. You know what? We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
Dropping F-bombs. He was pissed.
He definitely didn't get lead in probably the last 5 years. But regardless of that, why doesn't he ever mention Gaza? They're committing genocide in Gaza with our weaponry. We're tired of it. Everyone that voted for him is tired of it, and he doesn't even talk about it. He should have brought that up as well.
Well, I think that's something that the public is going to become aware of over time. That's it's hard to just point the finger at Israel.
You can't flex like I'm going to use the F-bomb, but at the same time avoid a freaking genocide around the corner.
Yeah, I agree. It's got to stop.
So it has me a little bit pissed off. I'm sure half of the America First people that voted for him are pissed off, and hopefully he finds a way to correct this and end the genocide in Gaza.
Yeah, enough is enough already. And Bibi Netanyahu, he's got to stop using us as his own crutch to go talk shit and attack.
Well, he doesn't want to
lose.
He doesn't want to lose his power because he knows that the Israeli people would vote him out in a second, in a heartbeat, if they could. So what he just continues to cause conflict. Because he doesn't, so he's like, oh, we need a regime change rather than there be a regime change right here and me lose power. So this has been a constant struggle for Netanyahu to stay in power by continually staying at war with somebody, whether it be genocide or Iran. They don't care because they figure we have all this dirt on all the American politicians from Epstein Island where we have videos and it was a whole Mossad operation to gather intelligence and evidence against all of our politicians. So he figures he can just keep threatening us with this evidence that they have on all our politicians in order to stay at war with whoever, so he could stay at power.
Yeah, and he's making money. But so I got a funny video clip of a guy.
And he's making money.
Yeah. I got a funny video clip of a guy that had a meltdown. He went to a school and saw a MAGA bag that a teacher had, and he had a complete meltdown over it. And wait till you see. He endorses a certain community, but wait till you see what I have attached to this. Roll it. That's going to be number 9.
All right, motherfuckers, I got one for you. So I just dropped my kid off at school, okay? And I go in his classroom. Now, you gotta hear this. You can't make this shit up. So I go in his classroom, and he's got a little substitute teacher in there. And she's got her little mug sitting on her desk. And what does it say? 47. I'm like, oh, I wonder what that stands for. Light bulb goes off when I see her little bag there that says, Make America Great Again. Now, here's where I have a problem with this. The Republicans don't want teachers teaching about LGBTQ or anything racist or anything of that nature in schools or different cultures or anything that could be kind of edgy. But it's okay for a teacher to walk in with a damn big mug there that says 47 in a bag that says Make America Great Again. Make it make sense. How hypocritical is that of the Republican Party, and how hypocritical is it for people that are MAGA supporters? I just don't understand the relevance behind it.
Let's see. Make America Great Again, or We're Coming for Your Children. What sounds worse? Bunch of guys running around in tutus with lipstick on, swinging those rubber dongs around in parades, or wanting to make the country great again? I don't know. But if you want to hear it out of the horse's mouth, here it is. So this dude stuffed a sock in it.
Pay attention to this.
We'll convert your children.
I hope you're joking.
Happens bit by bit, quietly and subtly, and you will barely notice it.
You're not joking, are you?
We'll convert your children. Someone's gotta teach them not to hate. We're coming for them.
Dude, what the fuck is this?
We're coming for your children.
Have Russ Becker do a background check on them for me, please.
Now look at this background check.
One of these guys is a real sicko.
It's their rap sheet, guys. all these people singing that video, and they all got credits. When you run the names on the credits into the police databases, they're all pedophiles.
Really?
Yep. It's their rap sheets. Aggravated assault on a minor under 14 years old.
Wow.
Yep. And there's a lot of them.
And they made the song?
Yeah, the one coming for the children. I don't know about this one. But, yeah. They said, oh, it was a joke. It was a joke. It was satire. Yeah? Okay.
You touch my kid, I will hunt you down till the day I die. You got that?
Yeah, it was. They say it was satire. So that doesn't look like satire to me when you could pull up police records and have these guys forcibly touching people under 14 years old. And, yeah.
Leave it to James Justice.
You know what I mean? So
investigative journalist.
You know, we don't have a problem with anybody, but when you start targeting kids and you want to start getting inappropriate with children and introducing them to curriculum and things that are way above their years, nope, not happening. We will be there, and we're going to expose
Anyway,
every
it's the
single one of
season
you.
to be giving these kids fireworks and pellet guns. Give them fireworks and pellet guns.
Exactly.
You know?
Hell yeah. But yeah, man, so there's a bunch of perverts running around wild that Joe Biden let do whatever the hell they wanted. And if you notice, not a lot of companies are putting up the rainbow flag symbols.
No, I know those days were over.
Yep. You know who did? MLB. Shame on the MLB. You guys are a bunch of cucks.
Whoa.
You guys put up the flag, and you guys are a bunch of cucks. You sat there, and then what did the Mets do? They put up instead of the American flag, they put up the gay pride flag, and then they changed the national anthem and sang it in Spanish or something like that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah. So what the hell's going on with baseball, man? You know, it's not the same anymore. All these sports teams aren't
Ever
the same
since
anymore.
Jeter left.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. You know, it might be something in the Gatorade they're drinking, but
Jeter was the best.
Let's get back to
The
sports
cleanest,
being sports.
Best representation in New York, Derek Jeter.
Hell yeah. So we're going to take another break coming up shortly. When we come back, I'm going to be airing a documentary that I did. It's actually an undercover video. I set up myself with a camera and went into a pediatrician's office with a binder of information, of facts, right, of documents that I got off of government websites. And I sat there and I drilled her over it, and she had her head on the desk holding it because she never ever heard the information that I was bringing to her attention, and she should have known because
Check
she
this out.
injected a lot of kids. We'll be back.
The Queens Village Republican Club is America's oldest Republican club, founded in 1875. Situated in President Trump's hometown in Queens, New York, we are America First MAGA Republicans, empowering fellow Republicans to get involved in the game of politics at the grassroots level. We host inspiring monthly club meetings on the first Thursday of each month at 8 p.m. For more information, please go to our website at www.qvgop.org.
Corporate transfer, fine professional, moving and storage, and inventory management.
The dehumanizing rhetoric of Adolf Hitler, Donald Trump's language mirrors this directly.
Well, Hitler was duly elected. Let's deal with Hitler, okay?
I don't think it's hyperbolic to say that is Mussolini Hitler-like language.
You say Nazi enough times, someone's going to actually have the guts to do it.
Donald Trump would invoke Adolf Hitler.
What percentage of this event happening was due to Donald Trump's rhetoric?
Don't miss Trump next time.
What do you make of the excess deaths?
none of us, not the president, not those hypothetical guys in the smoky rooms fully know what's going on, but we can speak about the unfolding of recent history with certainty.
Donald Trump is an existential threat to our democracy.
That is not how it works. That is a threat to democracy.
No. No.
You anti-Semitic piece of
When you make it difficult for people in their lives, they lose their ideological bullshit.
Free fries when you get vaccinated? Vaccination.
We're back at the America First Warehouse.
Yeah. We are back, man. So we're going to finish up this next half. I got a couple of documentaries that I did. Like I said, I did a sting on a pediatrician with an undercover camera about the childhood vaccinations and, you know, how much she really knew off the top of her head. And I made a fool out of this lady, you know. So we're going to skip the next clip and we're going to run right into the pediatrician video. Let me get you an asset number on that. We got number, where is it? I don't know. Somewhere.
James Justice is tweaking out. He's glitching.
Yep, that one right there. All right, let's roll this clip real quick of me and this pediatrician. Made it look silly. So know what you're talking about. Never trust any doctors, especially when it comes to your kids and injecting things into them. Roll the clip.
No, I wanted to ask some questions about, you know, vaccinations, and I had some stuff I wanted to go over with you, just to get a second opinion on it. I know she's due for some of the vaccines. My daughter.
Bring up her record and see what she's due for.
Yeah.
Now I did that to kind of
Yeah,
hide
but
her
I
identity.
pulled an expedient list.
I didn't want to blow her up.
All the ingredients, and I got it.
Yeah.
But this was over 9 years ago. I did this video.
Well, actually, I actually have this one.
You have that one?
This one's a lot
She
more.
tried to give me a
detailed.
paper from the CDC.
Per vaccine?
Yeah, for every company, every manufacturer with the
And what did
ingredients.
you give her?
Okay.
I just wanted to point out something to you real quick. At birth, I know that the baby is supposed to get the Hep B vaccine.
Right, we haven't done that
We
yet,
haven't
yeah.
done that. And Hep B, which is the Energex B, these are the ingredients: aluminum hydroxide, phosphate buffers, thimerosal, and yeast proteins. If you go back onto the back page here, it says
Which manufacturer is that for, then?
Energex B,
They say.
and it goes down to Recumbax. Those are the two I have. But basically, the ingredients are around the same guidelines
Right, okay.
for the vaccines. But on the back page, it says where it's marked with an asterisk for thimerosal, the vaccine may contain trace amounts of 0.3 micrograms of mercury left after post-production.
Right.
When I pulled up the EPA hazardous waste codes, thimerosal is a derivative of mercury, and the parts per billion on the vaccine from leftover is actually higher than the trace amounts, which is 0.2 micrograms of toxicity.
And they're saying that it's less, that one was saying it's less than 3.
That may contain trace amounts of 0.3 micrograms left after post-production.
Okay.
So that's like a conflict of hazardous waste codes.
Right, well, I think it's saying that this one, when you add the thimerosal, then it adds that. Right.
Yeah, it says where it's marked with an asterisk,
Right.
and it says thimerosal asterisk, so it says it contains 0.3 micrograms left after post-production, thimerosal removal. So after they remove all the thimerosal, there's still 0.3 left. And the hazardous waste codes say that anything over 0.2 micrograms per liter is toxic. So that was my initial problem with the hepatitis B. And then also, the aluminum levels in some of the vaccines are scary. I don't know if you ever seen this document here.
Toxic in what way, though? Like, what are they saying?
Neurological toxicity, where like it causes autoimmune deficiencies. You know, but anyway, this is a list of all the basic vaccines here, and the amounts of aluminum that's considered by the FDA safe. So, an 8-pound healthy baby, anything over 18.16 micrograms of aluminum is toxic.
Okay.
Hep B, 250 micrograms.
Micrograms, okay.
DTaP, 625. You know, and these are done in series shots. As to here, because 2 months you get
exactly,
little virus, and you're getting all of these. And that's like over 1,000 milligrams of aluminum.
1,000
Okay.
You know?
micrograms.
So I just wanted to know if you ever seen anything like
your
this,
baby.
or these type of documents.
When only 18,
Well, I haven't
16
seen this
is
extensive
18.16
research, so I commend you for that. I mean, that's great.
And it gives you 1,000.
I just want to point out one more thing. Something. I got the CDC, I got the vaccine settlements.
Right.
All right.
I just don't know, the literature. I mean,
She just said, I don't know the
it's definitely
literature.
accurate, but
No, it's from the CDC,
Yeah,
it's from
yeah.
government sites and
so,
stuff.
but then, how come we don't
Look at
have
her holding
a
her
whole
head.
ton of babies, with neurologic
Well,
damage
we
that
do.
are constantly-
Autism is 1 in 45 right now, and
Yeah.
that's, I have the chart for it. In 1975, it was 1 in 5,000,
Right.
and
But
before
there's
that,
so many variables that go into that.
well, it's also the foods, the
Like, I wouldn't
glyphosate.
recommend feeding the child tuna fish ever.
Yeah.
Because
High
then,
mercury levels
right,
from the
exactly,
tuna.
because there's just as much in that as well.
So she
you know?
compared
Yeah,
ingestion
but I actually
with
have
digestion.
proof that the vaccines
So like instead of
really
injecting
didn't
it,
eradicate any
Yeah.
diseases.
Yeah.
she
You know what I mean? And I'm trying to get my girlfriend to understand
No, they
through all the
did, though.
research.
They
No,
did.
no, look, let me just show you.
Which diseases?
Everything. Look,
Epiglottitis?
United States mortality rates, right? For
In terms
measles,
of
scarlet
what?
fever, typhoid, whooping cough, diphtheria.
Well, scarlet
Diphtheria.
fever we don't have an immunization for.
Yeah, well, that's it's just
Yeah,
showing.
these
this is the
people
chart.
need-
Diphtheria you really don't see that much anymore.
From 1900, and I tracked it back to
Right.
1838, and
research.
you could see that it was gradually
Trending
going
down.
down
Right.
on every scale. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Reps
So by
tell them to.
let's say 45-ish, 48-ish, 1950,
Yeah,
it was
tracked this back
basically
to the
eradicated and flatlined at 0 on both charts.
The 1840s
So,
I went back to.
And the reason being, because of the infectious diseases, were there were no plumbing codes in 1853, so there was waste everywhere. In 1888, it was the end of spittoons, people spitting everywhere.
Right.
So I'm giving her
Branch to
a historical
sanitation happened in
timeline
1913,
of
that's a
why
huge
the
drop.
infectious diseases
1906,
numbers
school medical
decreased over
services
time.
stepped in, that's that
Nothing to do with
decrease.
vaccines.
And
Right.
the plumbing codes came in 1930.
Right.
So that dropped it even more, and it was already on its way out with everything else before they were
Oh, so
there.
you're saying that it was an actual vaccination.
No, because look, the diphtheria was introduced in 1920, the vaccine.
Right, but how many people are getting it in 1920 as opposed to how many people are getting it more in the future,
Yeah, but it was already going down.
And then this
you know?
this health system, probably
I actually
medical
agree.
services
Yeah.
increase is probably also adding to it to something. You're right, it is going down because all those factors,
They
are
tied
also,
into,
yeah.
the,
that
the
also, but that's,
sanitary
right, exactly,
cleanliness.
that's a part of it. I mean, that's why you don't ever get like the bubonic plague anymore.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
of similar reasons and stuff like that. So.
But this is a list of all the countries of their vaccination rates. We're the highest out of all the countries. 1950, only 7 vaccines were given. If the vaccines were to play a role in, eradicating diseases, where's all the sick adults that don't get vaccinated anymore? Where's all the people
Well, they
that
have
need
immunity unless they never got
So I told her, I
vaccinated.
said, if
but
the
they're
vaccines
immune.
played a role
Yeah,
we all got
in
vaccinated.
But it only
eliminating
lasts for so
infectious
long if you don't
diseases,
get updated
Not
with
all
the
of
shots.
them. Not all
you
of
know?
them. There's some
Because
that
adults
do
don't
that,
get
and I agree with
revaccinated.
you on that. Like you do need boosters,
knows.
but there's other ones that they give you, immunity for life.
Yeah. I mean,
know,
there's just a lot of disturbing stuff that,
Yeah, no, I understand. And we don't have to. We're not in practice that kicks people out if they choose not to vaccinate their
Yeah.
children. We definitely work with them.
I went there with a binder.
You're gonna run into a problem with the school system, though.
No, I haven't. I have a 13-year-old son, and I have exemption
But she
forms
still
filed for him,
thinks the
and I've
same
never
way.
gotten one problem.
Where's the money
Okay.
at?
Not in middle school, elementary,
Yeah.
or
She
he's going to be going to high
have a
school in a
problem.
couple
I
years.
was telling her
Okay.
about my
So,
son.
Would you
I
do
got
it
him
through like
exempted
religious
before
beliefs
school.
or
Personal exemption.
personal exemption?
Personal beliefs exemption.
Didn't
I don't
receive
know if they
anything.
do that stuff anymore. I think they've changed the rules.
No, that's SB 277. That's only affected in California. We opposed all the bills that
Okay,
were
okay.
mandatory
Bills.
vaccinations.
Okay.
Oh my God.
But yeah, I mean, I started up. The only reason why I'm so in depth with all this stuff is because I started up a investigative journalist company, and this is one of the big things a lot of parents were talking about is there's hundreds of thousands of kids that have been affected, and they have proof, video documentation of the child being fine, and then after they go for a series of shots, they're staring at the ceiling into space. They lose all motor functions, can't lose the ability to walk, eye contact, playing. They get desolate, and I just wanted to get your opinion on
Yeah.
the stuff. And
I mean, my opinion is that I've seen kids not it's a fine line and it's hard. And it's really hard to make it. I've seen healthy kids go in to the hospital not vaccinated and they don't come out.
Yeah.
Things that could.
So anyway, there's a part 2 to that video. You can cut that off. There's a part 2 to that on my Rumble page at UCNY News if you want to go watch it. But that should speak for itself right there. You could clearly see she was flustered, had no idea the documents that I had in my hands, never saw them before, wasn't familiar with them. Like she said out of her own mouth, she didn't know the literature. So that's pathetic, all right? These are people that are supposed to give you informed consent over every single thing they do to you. And where's the informed consent? Where is it? Out the window. These people don't know what the hell is going on. And majority of these practices that have pediatricians' offices, they're incentivized to keep a vaccine schedule, right? It's got to be like 75 to 80% of their people that they have coming in there have to be vaccinated, full schedule. And then they get their bonuses from, Moderna and all these other companies that give them the vaccines for the rollout. But we have the most sickest kids in developed nations around the world. Right, and we have the highest vaccination rates. The Amish community has none of these problems. They don't have eczema. They don't have neurological disorders. There's no autism rates. So clear as day, it's right there in the vaccine schedule. And was it done to save us? No, it wasn't. It was done to docile the population, to fry your neurons, to have all the men, because this autism basically is affecting men more than women, like 1,000 times more for men than it is with women. And why would they have that targeted like that? Is because they don't want people that are going to fight for this country. They want people that are docile and weak, and they've been doing this for years and years and years and decades. And, we're at a point where, hey, listen, man, we have RFK, that's the head of the health department. We got Robert Malone now that's going to be playing a very crucial role. And we're going to get to the bottom of why our children were like this and affected like this.
Guys, if you didn't see our last week's podcast last Tuesday, we had Robert Malone on the podcast, and we had a great show. So please, you can always go back and tune into last week's podcast as well.
Yep. Yeah, make sure you do that. We had 167,000 viewers last week on the podcast, throughout the week.
And Dr. Robert Malone was excellent and informative, and I asked him a couple of very hard questions, especially the one with the poultry and the mRNA vaccinations in the poultry and the effect on the consumer and things like that. And we talked about graphene oxide, and then definitely I also want to watch it.
Yeah, I also asked them about life extension technology using the mRNA platform, which I kind of understand a lot of this stuff. So just check out the podcast. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back.
Corrupt judges, broken families, families torn apart. This isn't justice. If you've been wronged by the system, join us. Don't stand alone. Hi, I'm Gary Jacobs, president of Americans for Legal Reform. We're the oldest legal reform group in the United States. The justice system in the United States should be transparent, fair, and open to everybody and accessible. Unfortunately, many times that's not the case. At Americans for Legal Reform, we are here to help. Join the movement. Visit AmericansForLegalReform.com and help reform the system before it fails you.
The America First Ultra MAGA Store. For all your MAGA needs. We sell t-shirts, tumblers, flags, hats, sneakers, bumper stickers, and a whole lot more. The most patriotic America First retail store. The America First Ultra MAGA Store.
Welcome, everybody, to the Not So Newlywed Show, where three couples are going to compete for really great prizes. Okay, Donna, we asked Mike, who complained first on your honeymoon, you or him?
What do I think?
Yeah, what do you think?
I think he said...
Lisa, this ain't the SATs. Just tell us what... Donna, who complained first on the honeymoon?
I'm sure it was me, but I have no idea.
Donna is right.
No, it's always me.
What celebrity would you pick for a one-day pass?
For me?
Yeah, for you, not for him.
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon! Wow! Who do you hate the most on her side? That rotten no...
There are so many choices.
Thank you all, and thank you for coming out.
Elena Ruseva, aka Megalangela. Please check my art at www.megalangela.vip.
America First Warehouse was really the most patriotic venue that you can ever imagine. We wanted to build something for people to be able to come to and feel so comfortable and so relaxed, because there is nothing out there like it. We give an opportunity for people to really feel good about themselves and about this great country.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back at the America First Warehouse. All right. So I don't know how many people have heard of this guy before, but this guy is a genius when it comes to occults and symbolism and secret societies and all that stuff. It's right up my alley. That's why I love the cover, because it's dead real and a lot of people don't believe in it. So, guys, if you could pull up clip 11, this guy's name is Jordan Maxwell, and he's going to break down to you how the world really works. If you want to see more of his work, just look him up and watch his videos. This guy is a genius. Let's roll it.
Because in America, we Americans love to talk about how we have the ability to elect our leaders. We're big on talking about how we can elect our leaders. But as Dick Gregory once said a long time ago, yes, we can elect our leaders, but you can't select your leaders. You don't select anyone. Your masters who own you will select who will run. You can merely vote on whoever they decide to allow you to vote on. And so when people go to the polls, for instance, people every 4 years are talking about going to the polls. How many people have ever wondered, what does the word poll mean? Why do you have to go to the poll? It's like the Gallup company, it's called a Gallup poll. Anytime some company is taking a poll, what does that mean? It doesn't mean that they are electing anybody. You take a poll to get a consensus of what the people are thinking. That's what a poll is. It's called a Gallup poll. There are many other companies that conduct polls for universities, for government. So that's what a poll is to get a consensus of what the people are thinking. How many people like this color or this product as opposed to how many like the Pepsi as opposed to Coca-Cola as opposed to root beer? And so they take a poll. And so the poll shows that that the masses all particularly like one product. That's all they wanted to know. Just which one do you like best? It doesn't mean much of anything. It's just a poll.
Before Trump.
And so every 4 years, Americans go to the poll to tell their masters who own them. And they do own you. Your body is a security on the New York Stock Exchange. You need to understand that. And so every 4 years, your masters who actually own your body want to know which one of these individuals that work for us, they work for the corporation, you work for the company, but which one of these would you feel better about having at the head of the company? Which one do you personally like? All 6 of them work for the company. They work for the government, period. But which one do you particularly like? Because this way, if you particularly like one and you vote for him, then we will make him the president of the company, and you will be happy because it was your choice. No, it wasn't your choice. You didn't have the opportunity to select your leader. You only had the opportunity to elect one of the 6 that they gave you, and all 6 work for the same company. So this is why nothing ever gets done, because people don't understand how their world really works. Extraordinary stuff. I suspect that this is a very important time in human history, and especially in the history of our country, when you don't know how your government works. You had better wake up and understand that you have left your government in the hands of other people to take care of things for you because you're too busy with your everyday life. Well, when you leave your personal business and your children and your life in the hands of someone else to take care of you, They're going to take care of you all right. Whatever decisions they make, they're going to take care of themselves, not you. Because you left yourself in their care, they will decide what you will eat. They will decide what you will wear. They will decide if you will have a job or not. Why? Well, because you left yourself in my care. I'm supposed to be in charge of you. So I will decide how much you will make. And you can bet that I'm going to make 1,000 times more than you do. Because I'm in charge. After all, you voted for me. So I'm just saying there's time for us to wake up. These are very evil days, and unless America is ready to wake up and face the facts that we have been lied to, deceived, and tricked into surrendering our lives, our minds, our sovereignty of thinking, and as I said in the beginning, what we need more than anything now is a spiritual and intellectual renaissance, a revolution spiritually around the world where people wake up to the responsibility to stand before your Creator and be a normal adult human being who knows what's going on, who understands the world, and can contribute something to the good for the whole human race. But it's going to require that you educate yourself and
Yep. So that's Jordan Maxwell. This guy has got so much insight on every topic you can think of. And just when you thought you know how things work, this guy will flip you right on your head and show you really don't understand a damn thing about what's going on. And, you know, this I wish he was still alive. You know, he's deceased now, but what a brain on this guy.
Educate yourself. His name was Jordan Maxwell. Just like you should educate yourself before you go to the doctor and listen to the meds that they're about to prescribe you for your ailments.
Yeah.
Educate yourself.
Yeah. So I got one more clip I want to get into with Jordan Maxwell. Let's roll this one. That's number 12.
You need to look at the Vatican. Once you begin to look at the Vatican, now it's going to get serious. Because you need to remember that the Pope has dominated Europe for some 1,600 years. And Europe has dominated the world for 1,600 years. And our American system is a Vatican system. We live under the Vatican in this country. The Vatican system, of course, is based on the ancient Roman system. And in Rome, the seat of power for Caesar was called Capitol Hill. And so every morning, Caesar would go up on the hill, Capitol Hill. Capitol is a Latin word for money. You either have the Capitol or you don't. And consequently, in the Capitol Hill, Caesar would meet with the Senate. That's what we have, the Senate. The symbols of the ancient Roman Senate were two fasces, the crossing of the fasces. That's the symbol of the United States Senate, crossing of the fasces. When you see the President of the United States standing and speaking to an audience in the room where the podium and then the Speaker of the House and the Vice President sit behind him, when you see someone making a speech in that room, look on both sides of the podium. Don't look at the person talking. Look at the symbols. For many will look with their eyes but not see, and will listen with their ears but not hear, and with the heart not get the sense of it. You need to open your eyes and look at the symbols on both sides of the podium, which is about an 8 or 9 foot high fascia, called a fascia, a bundle of sticks with a hatchet head, the symbol of royal power in Rome. Our system is under Rome. Doesn't matter what you think of the Roman Catholic Church. It doesn't matter what you think of the religion of the Roman Catholic Church. All you need to know is your country is dominated by the Pope, period.
Yeah. So,
wow.
Yeah. So the power of the Vatican stretches a lot further than anybody could ever comprehend. And, you know, Washington, D.C. is owned by the Vatican. A lot of people don't understand that. The District of Columbia is owned by the Vatican. That's why they have the 3 bars on their flag, right? One of them's the Vatican, the other one's the Bank of England, and then there's another one I can't bring, you know, I can't remember off the top of my head. But that's really what's going on. There's a hidden power structure, and the way the world works is not really what we think it is. You know.
So, do you think the decision for the bunker busters came from maybe Italy?
I don't think so. I think that was Trump commanding our military to take out a threat that was threatening the world. I mean, Obama was the one that built up the nuclear arms in Iran. He was giving them, remember all the crates of money, $150 billion.
Yeah, I remember that cash.
They were just dropping it in the sky. So Obama was using basically Iran and North Korea to build up a nuclear stockpile to threaten the world. And the end goal was supposed to be a nuclear war between all the countries. America was supposed to get blown up. Everybody, right? We got China involved, Russia, India, Pakistan. Everybody's going to get involved, and half the world gets blown up. The elites have their bunkers already made. They have their seed vaults. If you look up the Doomsday Vault, this thing's been around for like 15, 20 years. The Doomsday Vault is on the top of a mountain. It's got seed supplies, everything you can imagine. So they wanted a nuclear fallout, blow up the world, and then rebuild on the ashes of all the citizens of all the countries of the world,
But
and
I
bring
think
in their new world order.
fallout doesn't go away.
No, it doesn't. It takes a while, but these people are hunkered down in their bunkers.
Yeah,
with
but they'll
oxygen
never
supplies and all
survive
that
the
shit.
amount of years that our Earth will be contaminated.
You'd be surprised.
No, they'd be surprised.
I don't know. But at the end of the day, it's a Luciferian agenda, and anything that God created, they want to dissolve and destroy. So, blowing up
these
humanity
people-
and the planet would just be destroying one of God's creations.
These people, everyone should look into this and look into Dr. Deagle. Dr. Deagle goes into this a little bit as well. He's a retired ex-doctor from the CIA. He's a whistleblower, and it's Dr. Deagle.
Yeah.
But he went into it a little bit as well.
Yeah, it's absolutely nuts, man.
Yeah.
But as we're winding down this podcast, we got about a minute left. I just want to give a big shout out to all the viewers out there. Make sure you share the video out. It's very important. And I hope all you guys have the hearts of lions like we do here at the podcast. That's why we're broadcasting out to you, to show you that you could have courage, and all you have to do is get informed. Once you have the information, you turn into a lethal weapon against the New World Order, and that's what we're trying to destroy. We want a future of prosperity and dignity and morality in our country, and we want God back and Jesus first, and that's what we're all about here on the Know Your Enemies podcast.
Absolutely. Remember, the red light camera war started in my church.
Yep. Oh, look, we got this guy over here. What the hell is Spider-Man doing creeping down over here?
We inspired him.
Oh, my God. Look, his spidey senses are tingling for the Know Your Enemies podcast. He came down to get a first-hand scoop of what the hell's going on in the world, because he knows we spit the truth, we spit facts, and you're not going to get anything else but hardcore patriot news out of us. No holds bars. We're not stopping.
No, we're not.
So with that, this is the conclusion
glory be to God.
of episode 36. We love you guys. We'll see you on the next one.
Know your enemy.